great pleasure to be here today to be part of the launch of the Mining Equipment, Technology and Services Industry Growth Centre. It's a great time to be the Minister for Industry, Innovation and Science because we have a Prime Minister who is reflexively and instinctively fascinated by the capacity and the potential for innovation to transform our economy into a new economy. There's no doubt that Australia will always have as a very solid foundation the mining sector, the agricultural sector, the financial services sector and so on, international education of course, but what the Prime Minister has charged me with the task of doing is creating the government architecture that will drive the commercialisation of our brilliant research that will lead to jobs and growth and wealth for our economy, and also to change the culture to enable more risk-taking. We are a reasonably risk-averse country. We've been terribly successful as a nation, and we haven't necessarily needed to take a great deal of risk. But in this global environment where innovation and research and science and disruptive technologies are changing shibboleths that we've always relied on, being able to take risks and being prepared to do so is going to be an important cultural shift in Australia for business and for government. We are here for the launch of the Mining Equipment, Technology and Services Growth Centre. These growth centres, industry growth centres, came out of really work that had been done in the United States by Andrew Liveris, who of course is an Australian, working for President Obama on new manufacturing, the next generation of manufacturing. A similar idea took root here in Australia, that rather than try and put our eggs in every basket, we would have a look at the things that Australia did well and could double up and treble and improve so that we could create jobs, growth and wealth for Australia. It will be bringing together a lot of people who are already in the sector who perhaps don't know what everyone else is doing and ensure that they are all working collaboratively. It will be about how to commercialise the research and work that's already being done in the sector. It'll be about establishing international collaborations and using the amazing technology and intellectual property that we already have in Australia to increase our exports in this sector, which is already $15 billion a year, to take what we've already done in Australia so well and take it overseas and compete, because Australians are good international partners. This METS is going to add value to the mining equipment, technology and services sector of the economy. It will lead to jobs and to growth, and it comes along at a great time for the entire sector, whether it's universities or research, national research institutes. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm happy to declare the Growth Centre here open.
It's such a great pleasure for me to be standing here today for the launch of the METS Growth Centre at QUT's Cube. What an outstanding facility and appropriately high-tech home for the Mining Equipment, Technology and Services Growth Centre. The Australian METS industry is an untold story of entrepreneurialism and global enterprise. It is a key platform for Australia's future prosperity with a focus on knowledge-based jobs, STEM skills, world leadership in research and world-class cluster strengths. It is a high technology and integrative sector that will enhance the job prospects and opportunities for future generations of Australians and is a direct long-term strategic advantage arising from Australia's mining industry. The AustMine 2013 survey identified that the Australian METS sector is a significant player in the Australian economy with a turnover of $90 billion. In addition, the survey identified that 80% of the sector by number of companies is Australian owned. The sector is strongly export focused with 55% of companies exporting a total of $15 billion. At the METS Growth Centre, we are setting a target of doubling those exports to $30 billion by 2030. And this is one of the reasons for branding the Growth Centre with our new name, METS Ignited Australia. Globally, the mining industry is facing challenges. Deeper mines, lower grades, community concerns, and more remote operations. These challenges require solutions, and the Australian METS industry can play a key role in assisting the industry to its next phase. We have some key advantages. These include Australia's globally recognised R&D strengths, our highly skilled and knowledgeable mining workforce. We also have a large and sophisticated domestic mining industry at our doorstep. A large proportion of the major mining companies have operations here in Australia, providing substantive access to global supply chains. And importantly, Australia has a reputation for global excellence in mining. It is my personal experience that being an Australian supply company opens doors and raises positive expectations from international buyers from the very first handshake. The Growth Centre will promote new innovation models in addition to the traditional pathways. Hackathons, innovation accelerators and incubators, open innovation and new IP strategies are all critical to accelerating innovation. In addition, innovation in business models, financing, business engineering, engagement and alliance models are also critical to deepening collaboration and growing scale and capability. To strengthen Australia's competitive advantage in this sector, the Growth Centre will be focusing on identifying and promoting key cluster strengths in areas such as IT and automation, software development, mineral processing, contract mining, to name a few, and developing some key opportunities such as data analytics. Once again, I would like to give credit to the Commonwealth Government for their investment in this important initiative. And I would like to thank everyone who has contributed with their hard work and efforts to get the Growth Centre to this ignition point. We look forward to welcoming all our sectoral players, the METS companies, miners, government, research community and capital providers to engage in our future. Thank you.